I was offered to try out this new VR project. I sat down, put on the goggles, and I went through the whole procedure. Afterwards, I was told to try it out on the actual robot. I'd never used a robot before, I'd never picked up the controller, but after going through it in the VR and learning what each one did, I just had a much better idea of actually how to control it and how to operate it. I went through the example that was in the VR, and you're not worried about breaking anything, and you can try and see what all the buttons do, and kind of a good way of learning it, I found.
FIT, an Irish tech apprenticeship provider, approached leading VR specialists Merces Technologies to recreate their learning experience for the Avatar Academy platform.
We developed this initiative here in Selbridge where we developed a Level 6 award in advanced manufacturing. One of the things that struck me was that we were teaching people advanced manufacturing techniques. We were talking about IoT and Industry 4.0, but actually we weren't using technology in the learning experience. Why aren't we using VR as a learning tool, an immersive tool, to enable students and those interested in possibly an advanced manufacturing career get insight and experience without being technically proficient?
During the course of developing the virtual training modules, the team visited the robotic training facility to see the robot working.
It was pretty much one-to-one the same. Everything worked, moved as should. Using the teach box to do the same movements in real life was very similar. It would take almost the same amount of presses to do an identical movement in the app as it would in real life. If you figured out a way to move the washer from one side to the other in the app, it'll be identical to real life.
We're limited with the physical robot that we have, so being able to get the students onto VR headsets, it accelerates their training because we can have 8 or 10 students simultaneously working on it and building the skills. The movement of the robot, the speed of the robot, the interaction with the buttons on the keypads, and that is very realistic to what we have on the real system here, and being able to gain the skills there and then transfer it across to the real robot is excellent. Yeah, the transferability of it is very good.
Having gone through it the first time and I went back in the second time, I'd already absorbed a learning experience and configuration of the robotic, unbeknownst to myself, that when I went in the second time, I was pacing through it much faster than the first time. You're experiencing it, and thereby, it's osmosis. It's very interesting.
Hand tracking kind of changes everything. It makes it so much easier to understand for everyone. If you haven't used VR, you can just pick it up and use it straight away.
You want to try and make the experience as realistic as possible. They won't have controllers in their hand, obviously, when they're working on the robot or working on the PLCs. To be able to get them to use their hands and almost grab the tools, and that is excellent. A key learning from them as well for when they move on to the actual panels or to the robot.
Yeah, I think other people have picked up the hand tracking very easily. I've showed it to some of my family members who couldn't even use a mobile phone, but even they were able to use that properly.
Probably have to do a certain amount from home for the near future, so I think having the technology that can enable that is very valuable. But I also think over time there's probably wider applicability in terms of increasing capacity in terms of people who can access such training. Like, you have a physical robot, there is going to be a limitation on how many people can access that properly.
We can also open up to a wider audience. The robot that we have is not exactly transportable. To be able to get around to go to schools and get an interest in students in school into the advanced manufacturing, it's a lot easier to walk in with a VR headset and they get a very realistic impression then of what it is.
We are the national coordinator provider for tech apprenticeships in Ireland. We've currently 3 apprenticeships up and running: software development, network engineering, cyber security, and I see components of those apprenticeship programs that could be enriched by some VR module components incorporated into them, and that's my next goal in terms of the journey.
Avatar Academy captures, creates and distributes processes and best practice in the latest procedures using new immersive technologies, providing a risk-free environment that allows users a margin of error during training for advanced manufacturing. For more information on virtual reality training as a solution for delivering effective technical training, visit avataracademy.io.